Yes, people, welcome back to the 1894 podcast. I'm Hugh and I've got Dara here with me as always for this Arsenal versus City review. A 1-0 win for the Blues, 18 on the bounce. The game was just ended about half an hour ago there, Dara. What are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, it was professional. It was boring, but it was professional. I thought we shut them out very well. I was never really afraid of scoring, and that's even without Rodri. And we didn't have as much pace going forward. Obviously, Phil Foden not being in there had a huge effect on that. But I think, yeah, it was a serviceable win, and we're going into Wednesday sky high.
It was, as you said, the first half an hour was pretty good. We were pressing hard. We were putting them under pressure. We were creating chances. Sterling possibly could have scored two in the first 2 minutes, but he got one.
Got a hat
He got a
trick
great
in the
header.
first
He
five.
could have scored a hat trick, possibly. Yeah, he could have scored a hat trick, but he got one in the end in the second minute. Mars got the ball out in the right wing. He chipped it in on his left foot, and Sterling found himself in a great position behind Rob Holding, who, from a centre back's perspective, possibly could have done better. But Sterling, nevertheless, got a great knock into the top left corner. It was. I don't think any keeper stopping that. What were your thoughts on that goal? It's very unlike Sterling to get ahead of goal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very unlike him. It was a poacher's effort, which again you don't usually say about him because he put them over the bar. But I thought he done very well to get it in. He actually had quite a decent game today, funny enough. But he, I think yeah, it was a good goal, and I thought it was going to set the pace, and it did for 30 minutes until everything really slowed down, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought after that first goal we were going to kick on and get more because there was a good 25 minutes after that goal where we had all the ball. We were creating chances. We were getting in behind them. De Bruyne had a few shots on goal, which maybe if he was a bit sharper, they would have gone in, or maybe it would have worked the keeper a bit better. But as I said, after about half an hour, we kind of almost down tools a little bit. We came out of that top gear we were in. And it was almost kind of like we had one eye on Wednesday, which is a great title for this video, I think, because the Champions League is obviously coming up on Wednesday. And in my opinion, the players looked like they were maybe not wanting to risk fatigue/injury and rule themselves out of that game. So yeah, I think one eye on Wednesday is possibly something that came into play today. What do you think on that point?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if he didn't have an eye on Wednesday, he would have had Foden and Rodri in. But I think he has that much faith in the rest of the team to just to be able to rest the important players. But he still put out a good backline. I think the backline were great today. It's the reason Arsenal didn't really offer much. But yeah, it was again serviceable. It was a good win without having the full team out, and he does definitely have the eye on the Champions League.
It was a true kind of, without being too optimistic, because it wasn't the best performance we've seen from City all season. It was actually what you'd call a champions performance. I know we're the champions elect right now, but good champions, I should say, are able to win without playing fantastically, which City did today. And we rested Rodri and Foden today. They didn't play at all. They were both on the bench, I believe, or at least Foden was. Like once again with the one eye on Wednesday thing. And I think had they played today, it maybe would have injected a bit more pace that was lacking, a bit more intensity that was lacking, particularly in the second half. And that we possibly could have scored more goals and kicked on because it was very quiet. The midfield was slow. It was a bit sluggish at times. Where City would usually push forward and get in behind and create more chances. We were turning back and playing it back to the defense. Who, in my opinion, the centre defensive midfielder Fernandinho, who was taking Rodri's place today, and the back four, mainly Stones and Diaz, all played fantastic performances, which you'll see in our player ratings, which we're going to put on the screen now. We rated them the highest. Fernandinho, I want to talk about him first before I talk about Stones and Diaz, was fantastic today. He's not played anywhere near as much football as Rodri recently, but he came in and he showed a proper captain's performance, true leadership. He was breaking up any sniff of an attack Arsenal were getting through the middle. Fernandinho was getting in there. I know he got booked at some stage, but nevertheless, he made so many great, clean, legal tackles as well, which is really required, particularly when our midfield is looking a bit sluggish or maybe off the pace or not going fully forward. What did you think of Fernandinho today?
Yeah, he was brilliant. I thought again, Rodri offers something different, but it was nice to see him driving with it. Was good. Like I mean, he's 35. He's still running the legs off everyone else on that pitch. He was the one who brought the energy.
He looks 25.
Well,
he looks 25.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When De Bruyne dropped in beside him, I thought it kind of slowed down a bit. But when Bernardo was beside him, they were both steaming ahead. I thought those two beside each other. It was like 70 and 8 or 80 and 19 again. It was just fast paced, get us forward straight away. Don't let it linger in the middle of the park. And I thought he was brilliant. I said if we had to play, I said he'd have to give a man the match performance if we're gonna go out and play well, and he did. So I'm happy with his performance.
He's definitely put himself in contention, more so than possibly before the game, for a spot in that Champions League game on Wednesday. But I still do think Rodri will ultimately start that game, and so will Foden. But I think the reason we can be confident when we're just 1-0 up that we won't concede is fair to say, is because we have the two boys in the middle of the back, Stones and Diaz. Once again, absolutely fantastic performance from them. There was plenty of times in the game where an average centre defender would fall asleep because there's not much happening on their end. But when Arsenal did have their little spells where they were putting a slight pressure on our back four, they really stepped up and showed and put in great performances. There's one moment in particular where Aubameyang was going down the left wing and Stones absolutely sent him into the stands. Not literally, but
Nearly, literally.
nearly did. Aubameyang was stunned, you could tell, and it meant a lot to Stones. And you saw whenever any players were making great tackles or doing good things, Diaz was going over, high fiving the boys, keeping them motivated, keeping their heads in the game, and that's what you absolutely love to see. It's great from a fan's perspective as much as it is from a player's. What do you think of them today?
Yeah, no, they were unreal. Like I said, the reason Arsenal didn't offer anything was because of them. I thought they brought, like, Fernandinho broke everything down in the middle, but if it was on the odd occasion to get past them, they'd be there straight away to sweep up. About that Stones, the shoulder to shoulder, Aubameyang is actually, like, he is very, very fast. The fact that Stones kept up with him is unreal. It kind of shows how fast he actually is. You know what I mean?
And he's a big guy. He's a big guy as
Yeah,
well, Aubameyang.
exactly. That's why. Yeah, that's he was. He
He
done
wouldn't be
brilliant there.
easy.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I think he's over 6 foot as well.
Um, Aubameyang is not an easy man. He's not an
Hmm.
easy man to put in his arse like that, but Stones did, and it just shows that Stones now has the confidence to do that sort of thing. Whereas maybe when
Hmm.
his confidence was a little bit lower, he wouldn't have maybe gone in for that sort of collision because he'd afraid if he'd miss it or he'd mistime it or he'd give away a foul. Blah blah
Hmm.
blah. He's doing it now, and he's doing it with conviction, and he's doing it well. But I want to talk a little bit about the attack as well. De Bruyne came off after 60 minutes, 100% with the one eye on Wednesday. Point coming back into play there.
Keep
He
pushing
will
it.
play against Gladbach.
Keep
He will
pushing the
play
one eye
against
on
Gladbach.
Wednesday.
Keep pushing it. Yeah. One eye on
Uh,
Wednesday. One eye on
one eye on
Wednesday. I
Wednesday.
have one eye on Wednesday because I'm so excited.
Yeah, you can
But he came
start
off at
hashtagging this.
yeah, hashtag one eye on Wednesday. But Aguero is a topic that we keep talking about because he's been involved in not one, not two, but three match day squads, and he's not done a single pre-match warm up. But he did a very slight 5-10 minute warm up on the sideline today, and he looked a bit disappointed when Jesus came on. Jesus is someone I find very hit or miss. I don't think he's City standard, in all honesty. I do love the guy. I think he's a great guy. He scored some great goals for City and important ones. He secured the 100 points. Let's not forget that. I just think going forward, he's not an Aguero replacement. And he's certainly not someone I want leading the line in the future. But Aguero, yeah, he looked disappointed not to come on. I'm quite confused with the Aguero situation. I would have thought today would have been a great opportunity to give him a bit of time because we obviously look comfortable in defence, like we already spoke about. So there's no reason not to bring him on. You bring him on, he plays well, he gets some confidence, some minutes. You don't bring him on, you get nothing out of it. We weren't going to concede goals by bringing him on. Where do you stand on the Aguero thing?
Yeah, it's same with everyone. Like, if there's a game to bring him on, it's that kind of game. You know, like,
Mm,
Jesus came on, he was a bit, like, he held it up well, he kind of distributed well, but, like, like, shot he put out of the stadium nearly. You know what I mean? That was
yeah, you
very
can't be
poor.
doing
But
that.
it,
Um,
like you said, he shouldn't be
um,
leading the line. He's not an Aguero replacement, but
mm,
he should have definitely come on. Like, this should be the games coming on in with, like, one eye on the rest of the season nearly. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have
one
two.
eye on Wednesday.
One eye on Wednesday, one eye for the season. He's
Um,
because he needs like, you can't expect him to try and make a difference whilst not getting on the pitch. Like, you know what I mean?
a massive talking point amongst all the City fans around the world at the moment is: do you give Aguero a new contract or not? Blah 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 blah. How much money do you pay him if you do? How on earth are we supposed to know the answer to that if we don't see the guy on the pitch? He's been training for weeks now. He's been involved in 3 matchday squads. He's not really warmed up. He's not set foot in the pitch. So how are we supposed to answer that? And how is Pep even supposed to know that? I know in the time between the game ending and us recording, Pep said he's trying to do it as slowly as possible. But it's coming to the end of the part of the season where it's time to win trophies, and you can't start integrating a striker in when the really big games come in. You want to win every game from here on in if possible, and you don't want a sluggish, unfit striker coming in. So I would have thought in the last 3 games, maybe not the first match day squad he was in. Fair enough, you don't play him, but Everton could have got 5 minutes. Today he could have got 20, and then maybe don't play him against Gladbach. Don't even bring him to Budapest, and just give him a rest altogether, and then look towards West Ham next week. But look, I don't know. Anyway, Dara, I know there's a question about this team you wanted to ask me regarding a past City team as well. Do you want to fire away? It's one that I think we could talk about.
Yeah, I'll ask you and I'll ask everyone else. Everyone else that are hopefully watching this, I'll say,
Comment below.
is this
Comment below.
Is this team better than the 17 and 18 Centurions?
Is this team better than the 17, 18 Centurions? We'll definitely have a longer conversation about this on a Spotify episode because it's a fantastic question and it's one that should be given a lot more talking points, or a lot more time. But my short answer is no, absolutely not. A football team is judged on how many silverware and how much silverware they win, how many trophies they get. And this team obviously is shaping up to be a fantastic team. What is it? 15 goals conceded all season in the league, and 5 was in one game, and that's before the Diaz era.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, they've won absolutely nothing. The Centurions were obviously an amazing team, 100 points, never done before, and it's something that'll go down in history and we will never, ever forget. But this team, I feel, has the capability to exceed that Centurions team 100%, but it's whether they can actually see it through and do it. It's looking like we will, and I think should we win the Premier League and maybe another trophy or two, they'll be on the same level. But at the moment, the quadruple is in the question, ladies and gentlemen. If I had a soundboard, I'd put the over that because it's definitely worth it. The quadruple is in the question, and if this team wins the quadruple, in my opinion, they're going as the greatest team of all time. Because to win the quadruple as an English team is much bigger than winning the 6 trophies in Spain or however many trophies in Germany. Because the English Premier League is the toughest league in the world. So to answer your question in short, and I went on a bit of a ramble there, it's a no for me for now, but it is pending. Well, what's your answer though? I'm curious.
I think I'd be in the same camp as to say not yet, but they have the potential to be better. They definitely have the potential to become better than them.
We'll definitely have another conversation about this possibly in next week's Spotify podcast. But we're going to wrap up the video there. A win for City, 3 points, 18 in a row now. By no means the most exciting performance as a spectator, but like we said before, it's a Champions performance. Leave a like on the video. Do subscribe if you're new around here. We're growing slowly. I think we're close to 120. 125 is our newest target. So if you're enjoying the content and you want to get involved and join this ever-growing community, do hit subscribe. And leave your comments below, of course, because we love to hear what you think. Myself and Dara read through them all the time and try to interact with you.
We reply to all of them.
So yeah, we do. We absolutely reply to all of them because we love hearing from you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.